What up, y'all? It's your boy Big C, and as you probably know, last night was the 2020 NBA Draft. Today, in this video, we're going to be talking about picks 1 through 14, the NBA lottery. Before we get into this, since this is my first video, there are some things I want you guys to know about me. My name is Connor Mastro Simone. I'm 16 years old, and my reason for making this channel is whenever news comes out to let you guys know and let you guys know what I'm thinking about it at all times. Alright, let's get into this. Pick 1 by the Minnesota Timberwolves. They select Anthony Edwards. Many people going into last night expected that they were going to pick LaMelo Ball, but I think that they made the right pick here. Although he shows some lack of effort, and it doesn't seem that he really wants to be playing basketball sometimes, he does have great defensive upside. He's a walking bucket that doesn't need the ball in his hand, so he's going to fit perfectly next to D'Lo and Cat. D'Lo is going to be able to dish the ball to him whenever he needs it, and he's going to be able to score it. He allows D'Lo to be the primary ball handler, while Cat to be the primary scorer. He did have an inefficient college season in Georgia, but I believe that's because he was taking all the shots because they had no one on their team to do anything else. I think with the right system in Minnesota, they can be easily playoff contenders, and then Anthony Edwards can have a great rookie season. Pick 2. James Wiseman to the Golden State Warriors. After yesterday, Klay Thompson suffered a torn Achilles, there was many questions over whether or not they should select LaMelo Ball, but I think they made the right pick here. Once Klay Thompson comes back next year, it's going to be Steph, Klay, hopefully still Wiggins. They're going to have Draymond and Anthony Edwards. They finally got that center they need. After many tries like Bogut, Pachulia, Looney, Damian Jones, and JaVale McGee, although they won some champions with that, they've never had this solidified starting center, and I believe that they got that with James Wiseman. James Wiseman isn't going to need to be scoring double digits for them every night. He's going to be able to sit there, dunk the ball when Klay and Curry get it to him, and he's going to be able to block shots, which is really all they need. I think as soon as everybody's healthy on that team, they're going to be instant title contenders again. Pick 3. Michael Jordan got his guy LaMelo Ball. It's going to be interesting considering they already have Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier, but I believe that they stick LaMelo at the 2 and Terry Rozier comes off the bench. They have a solid starting backcourt right there with players like Zeller, Washington, and Miles Bridges finishing off their starting rotation. Charlotte is a very interesting situation, but I think LaMelo's phenomenal scoring ability and passing is going to be able to transform them into maybe a 20-win team. Yikes. So I wanted to pick 4. Patrick Williams rose big time this year. The Chicago Bulls picked him when many people expected them to pick either someone like Obie Toppin or Denny Abadia. So Patrick Williams out of Florida State, best overall defender in this draft. He can block shots, he gets steals, he can defend anybody in the post, he can defend anybody on the perimeter. He's an amazing defender, but he does not have much offense yet, which isn't necessarily what the Bulls need considering they have players like Kobe White, Zach LaVine, and Lauri Markkanen. Well, although he is an amazing defender, he is a very big project player, and I think this season he will be coming off the bench after Otto Porter Jr., but next year Otto Porter Jr. will most likely be out of Chicago, and he may have his time to shine. We'll see how he does in Chicago, but I'm hoping for a great long-term career in Chicago for Patrick Williams. At pick 5, the Cleveland Cavaliers got their small forward in Isaac Accora. Best perimeter defender in this draft. Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving. I believe he can defend any point guard, shooting guard, small forward, or maybe even power forward in the NBA in the perimeter. With their Sexland backcourt of Darius Garland and Colin Sexton, I think that he'll fit perfectly at that 3. And if they don't move Kevin Love or Andre Drummond, they have a solidified starting 5 right there. We'll see how it goes in Cleveland. At pick number 6, the Atlanta Hawks picked Onyeka Okongwu out of USC. This is a questionable pick because they already have people like John Collins and Clint Capella, but this could mean that they're looking to trade for somebody. Onyeka Okongwu could fit perfectly at their center or power forward with his great athleticism and blocking ability. At number 7, Detroit picked Killian Hayes out of France. Killian Hayes is a walking bucket and a great passer, and Detroit may or may not have just found their next star. Detroit is looking for anything with great potential coming into this draft, and I think they may have got it. He may have gone a little bit high, or they could have picked somebody like Cole Anthony, but I think they did a good job with what they had here. At pick number 8, Obi Toppin went to the New York Knicks. New York is going to love this guy. New York is not a big fan of Julius Randle at the moment, as a lot of people know. And Obi Toppin is going to be able to slide into that 4 next to Mitchell Robinson. He's able to shoot the 3. He's a high flyer, and he's going to sell several tickets in New York this year. Going to be a fun season. At number 9, Washington picked Denny Abadia out of Maccabi Tel Aviv in Israel. He's a lights-out shooter, but his lack of free throw shooting in Israel last season raises some questions about how that shooting will transfer to the NBA. Although he could be a steal of a pick at 9 for Washington, there's also a very high probability that he could be a bust, sitting next to players like John Wall and Bradley Beal. We'll see, though. Pick 10. Phoenix makes a questionable pick for the second year in a row. Last year they picked Cam Johnson. This year they picked Jalen Smith out of Maryland. He is a huge riser. Many people didn't expect him to go in the top 20 this year, but they picked a 3-and-D center at pick 10. So behind losing out on Aaron Baines this offseason will be tough for them, but they did get that stretch 5 this year in Jalen Smith, and who knows what he'll come and do, because we saw last season how Cam Johnson played in the bubble, and that their pick for Cam Johnson wasn't as crazy as everybody may have thought at the time. Pick 11, Devin Vassell out of Florida State, 3-and-D, debatably the best 3-and-D player on Florida State last year, because Patrick Williams can't really hit the 3 yet. Devin Vassell could bring San Antonio back on the map. Last season, they were probably the most boring team to watch in the NBA, and a player like Devin Vassell could sell tickets, jerseys, and make them more fun to watch alongside DeJounte Murray and Derek White. Who knows what will happen with DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge this season, so if they do get traded, he could be a perfect fit there in San Antonio for the future. Number 12, the biggest steal of the first round at this point. Tyrese Haliburton out of Iowa State. This point guard, he's something special. He's a walking bucket and a crafty playmaker. And Sacramento putting him next to De'Aaron Fox after looking frantically for a trade for Buddy Hield this offseason. That hasn't gone through yet, but they're still looking for it. He could fit perfectly right next to De'Aaron Fox. The only question there is how are they going to be able to keep all those assists? Who's going to score for him? If Marvin Bagley can stay healthy, that may be the answer to their question right there. But so far in his career, Marvin Bagley hasn't been able to stay on the court, and we'll see how this too. Great pick by Sacramento. He is most likely a top 5 most talented player in this draft, and they ended up getting him all the way at 12. Number 13, Kyra Lewis Jr. out of Alabama. Fastest person in this draft by far, and he can finish a layup on anybody in the league. Many people compare him to John Wall, and if he can develop that defense along with his speed, passing, and scoring, he could be John Wall 2.0. I'm looking forward to seeing him next to Zion and Brandon Ingram this year in New Orleans. The final pick of the lottery. My team, the Boston Celtics, selected the sharpshooter Aaron Nesmith out of Vanderbilt. He is the best overall three-point shooter in this draft, and he'll add so much to the Celtics bench depth this year. Last year, the Celtics would have been by far the favorite to come out of the East if their bench was better. We had the second worst bench in the league last year, and adding a lethal shooter like Aaron Nesmith to that bench could change a lot of things. He is instantly NBA ready, and he's going to make a big difference for the Boston Celtics this season. So that's the lottery right there. Lottery is full of risers, fallers, possible bust, and possible booms. But who knows? For now, this is Big C, and I'll see you next time.